about it. But then shortly after you got hurt, shortly after winning, I think it was like the next week or two, you wrestled at another promotion, hurt your ankle, a minor sprain, had to walk with a boot on for about a month or so.
Wasn't a minor,
But then it
a
was a
break.
dang, yeah, okay, so it was actually a fracture, right? It
Yeah.
was a fracture basically.
Derek,
Mhm.
get your
Yeah,
sword.
it was a fracture, man. It was a fracture, bro. I'm trying to. All right, let me not mess up the legend because this goes to show fractured his ankle.
More specifically, my calcaneus is
You
my heel. I broke.
your
Oh,
heel, okay?
Yeah.
Oh, let's get it exactly right. Fractured the heel
Mm.
at the end of November in
It
2022.
was December 3rd. I'll never forget.
December 3rd. Okay. December 3rd. Then I just want to make sure we get all the facts right
did you
for
did you
the
actually
legend of Johnathon Zulu.
did you
December
Yep,
3rd.
I ended up winning that title. I defended it once at CHWA, in a, I guess, kind of an unofficial title defense.
Mhm.
And then a week after that, I wrestled at Pro Wrestling Epic on December 3rd. A week before, I was supposed to have my first title defense at MMWA. It would have been against Chris Exodus. But I had a match at Pro Wrestling Epic on December 3rd against Nasty Juan, and ended up taking him to the outside of the ring, and I just got too overzealous and went to the top rope and decided to come off the top with a double axe handle. But going from the top turnbuckle to the outside of the ring, that probably was like a 10, 11-foot drop by the time I ended up, jumping up in the air and then coming back down. And yeah, when I landed, I instantly thought that I broke both ankles because a shockwave went up both legs. I like rolled back, tried to stand up, was able to get my balance enough to stand up, but instantly realized that I couldn't actually walk and that I was in trouble at that point. So quickly finished the match, got back to the back so that the EMTs and everything could look at me. But no, unfortunately, yeah, I ended up breaking the heel on my right foot, and luckily the left one wasn't broken. It was just sprained. But for a while there, I was completely out of commission.
And if I recall correctly, so fractured your heel in December, and you returned though to defend your title in February, correctly? Correct.
Let me see. That's the December show. Yeah, the January show. Yeah, I believe that's when Dion and I had a promo against one another. And yeah, then I came back in February and faced them. Yeah.
Yeah, so with that, to build the legend of Johnathon Zulu, after completing his glorious purpose, Johnathon Zulu wrestled essentially with a fractured heel and defended his title. So tell us about your experience wrestling through that injury, because you didn't take the full time off that you would have needed for it to fully heal. You didn't take the full time off. You decided to, okay, I'm good enough. I can go. Let me defend this title that I worked so hard for and continue to give the fans a show that they deserve to get. So what was it like going through this title reign? One, having this injury happen at the beginning of your title reign, you just completed this great thing, and now it's something that possibly could have held you back and possibly took you out for good. So what was it like having that moment kind of feel like, dag, this moment could be taken away from me, but also deciding, okay, if I can go, I'm going to go, and I'm going to give the fans a show as best as I can, even if I'm not 100% throughout this reign. So what was it like going through that reign with that injury, but also that moment of getting injured and realizing, like, dag, this could really derail what I worked so hard for?
Yeah, for sure. That was definitely the mentality behind it. I've got to thank um, Anthony Castaldi and the management at MMWA. because they were fully behind me and willing to give me the time to heal before coming back and defending that championship. They wanted to make sure that I was 100% or as close to 100% as I was going to get. Um, because I was more than willing to give up that championship even without ever defending it there, because I felt like the people deserve a champion, a fighting champion for sure. But they didn't want to take it from me. They wanted to give me that time. Um, at first, the doctor was telling me, that they didn't know if I was ever going to be able to come back, because the first one was recommending surgery. Luckily, I got a second opinion, one who took me down the physical therapy route. So after some extensive therapy at the doctor's office and mostly at home, luckily they gave me, a list of things to do there. Just went ham on that and was able to get myself in a position, pardon me, where I would be able to um, be in ring shape by that February. And while I definitely wasn't 100%, and I knew that Dion knew that I wasn't 100%, and was going to try to capitalize on that injury, I also knew that I had beaten him before elsewhere outside of MMWA. So I knew that I could find a way to do it again. But as far as the overall run, it was definitely, I looked at it as a series of tests for sure. One, to see physically, could I withstand all of these matches, all the bumps and the trials and tribulations of actually going through the grueling process of wrestling without my uh, leg or legs giving out on me for sure. And psychology wise, how was I going to put these matches together? Because I couldn't go out and do a lot of the flashy, high flying things that I had done to get the championship. I didn't know if the fans were still going to react to me the same, if they were going to like me. It was a good test to see if they were behind me just for being me, or were they only behind me because I did cool things. And lo and behold, they seem to be behind me for some reason because they actually like me.
So you come back and you finally have that match with Chris Exodus. And I wanted to go into what was your mentality wrestling somebody like Chris Exodus, because if I recall correctly, in the beginning you said that he was one of the wrestlers that, they grew up watching you.
Mm-hmm.
Like he was one of them that was like, well, you played a big part in getting me into wrestling. So what was your mentality going into a match where it's almost like it's like a mentor versus a student?
Oh man. First and foremost, I love Chris Exodus inside and outside of wrestling. That guy is the truth for sure. Yeah, that's definitely how I look at it. Kind of a, while I didn't have any hands in his training, kind of a old guard versus new guard thing for sure. Said he was one of the ones that was handing me, some defeats before I ended up winning my championship. I was able to get one victory against him before going into that triple threat match with Andrew and Tommy Davis, where I won the title. But I did feel like he was robbed of the opportunity to face me at that December show before I ended up getting hurt. I would have been honored for him to be my first official title defense. So once I came back from injury and we finally did end up facing one another again, it was definitely something that I took pride in, that I didn't take lightly, and I was happy to finally be able to square off with him again. And I think both of us went into that match wanting to up any performance that we had had before against one another. I think that's why I love wrestling him and Tommy Davis for sure, because I look at it kind of similar to Mysterio and Eddie Guerrero, whenever you hear interviews of either one of them, recalling their matches, they're always just like, we faced each other so many times, and this particular match was already on this level. So the next time we face, both of us want to, take it to the next level, and then the next level, and the next level. So anytime I fight either one of them, it's always just like, man, what can we pull out to give the fans something that they've never see coming, to leave them in awe with us again.
Right. And I also wanted to just bring up, I love how you and Wilder's careers are almost so parallel. Especially in the match with Chris Exodus towards the end, we got a little interference that went on, and I thought it was just, at first when I watched the match, I didn't know it was gonna happen, but it was just so cool seeing where you guys started to where you guys ended up now in 2023.
Yeah,
I think it's cool. So I want to give you guys your props.
Yeah, which is a perfect segue to you had an impressive run, like you said. You still went out there and put on some really good matches, especially like the one with Chris Exodus, the one with Tommy Davis. You guys still were able to put together good matches, despite you being injured. And again, like you said, the fans were still into it. They didn't need you to jump off the top rope. And throughout that time, you slowly added those type of moves, got back comfortable. You probably couldn't do as many suplexes and things like that you would pull out. Initially, you kind of had to stick to more combat moves. You know what I'm saying? Which wasn't that hard for you, I don't think, to shift to that style, but it was a difference and something different for the crowd to react to. But we get to the point where, and again, how parallel you guys' careers are, you being hurt, Andrew knowing that you're hurt, and when you all face off again for the MMWA Junior Heavyweight Championship, Andrew knowing that you're hurt, he targets your ankle the whole match, and beats you for the MMWA Junior Heavyweight Championship. You go on a singles run there afterwards. Took a decent amount of L's on that run. Andrew loses his title, and now the seeds are planted for the STL connection to get back together. You all get back together, and now, you're still doing your thing singles wise in a bunch of other companies, like Pro Wrestling Epic. I know that's one of the main ones that you work with a lot. CHWA you work with a decent amount as well. So what is, I know the ultimate goal is to become the tag team champions again. We've discussed it. I feel like it's not too much longer away that they're going to be able to keep you all away from the tag team champions. The tag team champions are
sooner rather than later. Yeah, I guess you haven't heard the news yet.
No, I haven't. Break the news. Hey, you gotta break the news on the Squabble then, man.
Break some news here, but no. At the next MMWA show, New Year's Revolution, that's coming up the second Saturday of January. It will be me and Andrew Wilder, the STL Connection, going up for the tag team championships against the Posthumans. Let's go.
Yes, sir.
Yes.
Nah.
Doing Parasite. Yes. We impressed people so much in our last match against Vicious and Delicious that we're going straight for the goal.
That is impressive, no doubt about it, man.
Let's go.
And like I said, well deserved, no doubt, man. Well deserved. I hope it is sooner than later. Shoes, you know me. I've been waiting on that one for sure. So now I'm looking forward to that even more. That's my birthday weekend. I got a performance on the 12th. I'm gonna send you the info about it and everything once I get everything for the tickets and stuff. But yeah, that should be hopefully a very, very eventful weekend, man. Very, very eventful weekend. So, and I know that'd be an amazing way to start off. 2024, man. Regardless of what happens, though, I was gonna say that the Posthumans are really, really talented, and I think that they've got a lot of potential. Certain things they just need to work on, but that'll come with time and experience, of course. As you spoke about, it was a point in time where you wore green, you and Andrew. So I look forward to you calling that match because I know how talented you are in that aspect, and I know that calling a match for them, oh yeah, you could you gonna come up with something great for that matchup. So now I'm really excited for that show, man. Any questions for Zulu before we let him go?
I got a question, but I don't know if I'm allowed to ask.
No,
Say,
I'm an open book. You can ask anything.
All right. So I'm a fanatic. I've been watching wrestling since I was about 4 or 5 years old. WrestleMania 20 is one of my first ever remembrance of watching wrestling. Ever since then, I've really got into independent wrestling because I stopped watching for a while, and then I was watching PWG. I was watching like IW that came around from where I'm from. They're Granite City, Illinois. Yeah. Getting back into it, I was wondering if there's any places, notable places, especially in independent wrestling, that you would want to work in, especially as a tag team with Andrew.
Ooh, tag team or as singles, especially as a tag team, man. I want to travel any and everywhere, to be honest. That was one of our main goals when we first got into the business, was to travel the states and hopefully travel internationally. So I definitely want to go any and everywhere. But as far as like specific promotions in 2024, I am looking to, I guess, expand my horizons for sure. I would like to wrestle for, um, let's see, PWG for sure. I wouldn't mind, making it to somewhere like Evolve. I want to wrestle for the American branch or the actual Japanese branch of New Japan for sure.
Yep.
I want to go down to CMLL. I would like to wrestle for WrestleMax STL, the Grendel STL promotion, anything local for real. Anarchy, like I'm open and available for anybody for real.
That's funny you said that because what I have listed, I think would be the perfect place for you. And Les and Derek probably know what I'm gonna say because I talk about it a lot.
I was just about to say
EPW, you would be amazing in.
EPW, I've never heard of.
EPW, Deadlock Pro Wrestling. You would be amazing. Deadlock, if you're watching this, my boy Zulu, put him on. But I got DPW. Obviously, I got the big one, NXT. I think NXT, maybe not next year, but you never know. Maybe down the line, that would be really cool.
Let me
ROH.
I don't know if it would have to happen in the new rebranded TNA or anywhere on the independent circuits, but I do know the number one dream match for the STL.
I told him this before.
He already knows. It is Alex Shelley and Chris Sabin.
Yeah. Oh yeah!
Where some way, somehow, before they retire,
it's gonna happen.
It has to happen. We've got to see who really is representing the most dangerous city, Motor City or the STL.
Yes, sir. I had
we
that
need
one.
that. The streets need that, man.
ROH.
Alex Shelley, Chris Sabin. We gonna at you. We gonna tag you in this.
We gonna tag y'all.
Motor
City Machine Guns.
Y'all don't want the smoke.
STL Connection is calling y'all out, man. STL Connection is calling y'all out, man.
What are you prepared?
Y'all come to St. Louis, wherever y'all want to do it at, man. What y'all gonna do?
Anytime.
What are you prepared to do, Motor City Machine Guns, when Zulu runs wild on you?
Zulu!
Yeah, sir. I love Motor City Machine Guns. Well, we also like the STL Connection, so that's like a perfect matchup.
Yes, sir. Match for sure.
Damn, man.
Yeah.
I agree. What about you, Les? You got any more questions?
I wanted to ask one last question from me. I wanted to know what your absolute favorite thing about wrestling on the indie scene is.
So what my absolute favorite thing about wrestling is?
About wrestling on the indie scene.
No, wrestling on the indie scene.
Mm.
Oh my goodness, my absolute favorite thing about wrestling on the indie scene, honestly, is the interaction and I guess the intimate interaction with the fans for sure. It's you really get to know them. They get to know you. You actually talk to them before the shows, during the intermissions, after the shows. Uh, they get to, especially the regulars that come to every show, they get to watch your career truly grow and evolve, and they get truly involved in all the ebbs and flows of it. And it's just a beautiful thing that I don't think the I guess signed wrestlers get to experience because you're always going to a different town every day. So that would
Right.
definitely be my favorite thing for sure. There's been some fans that were literally kids when Andrew and I first started going to the club before we even started training ourselves when we were in high school. And now some of them are, young adults, gotten in relationships. Some of them are having kids and whatnot. It's just you get to see how life flows, man. I don't think the other wrestlers get to experience that so much.
I agree. I think it's definitely something that is unique to the experience of indie wrestlers. I think that is correct. So real quick, my last thing for you is gonna be who are you touched on one team at least. They can be singles or tag team, but who are 5 wrestlers right now that realistically before they retire, so it can be some of the younger guys on the indie scene or in WWE already. There's a lot of young guys out there. Who are 5 guys that you want to get into the ring with that you think you could put on just masterpieces with?
Oh, five singles or tag teams. I won't include the Machine Guns then since we've already touched on them. One would be Jungle Boy Jack Perry. I do think Jungle Boy could have a very good story, very good match. And
That's a good
I'm still
feud.
a little bit salty about him calling out CM Punk and stuff. So I'll give him a good little chop for Punk in that match. I think we'll have it good for sure. Besides him, man, if could ever make it happen, if he's going to be in the business long enough, I would love to wrestle Kofi Kingston. Definitely think there's a lot of similarities between the two of us, style-wise and whatnot. I think we could have a banger of a match as well. Before he retires fully, somewhere on the independent circuit, I would love to wrestle Rob Van Dam. That match would be a dream come true. One of the last stars of the Attitude Era that's on the circuit, still doing it in any capacity that can still go. Fairly similarly to how he used to, and I just think our styles would match well together. And that would be just a real big dream, I think, for me and Derek to see that for sure. Another tag team.
That's my boy.
Another tag team that Wilder and I would love the chance to fight would be the Usos for sure. Those guys are hands down if not the best tag teams in the last 10, 15 years for sure. So if anything, like you know how they say anything can happen in the WWE, so you never say never. One day, somehow, some way, we might get to see Usos and the STL Connection go at it. And then number 5, this would be the biggest dream just because of his star capacity and I guess age, for sure. Don't know how much longer he's going to be able to do it. But I would very much like to go toe-to-toe with CM Punk. Very similarly to, I think, the story between the STL Connection and the Motor Machine Guns, which would be, who's representing the most dangerous city. Me being the Black Panther of the Lou, I like to see myself as the hero of St. Louis, and he is the voice of the voiceless, the voice of Chicago. I think we can finally have a little Illinois versus Missouri brawl and see which one is the best in the
Cards versus
Midwest.
Cubs,
Ah,
man. Cards for life, man. Man. But yeah, I love that list. I love that list. I think a lot of those are very, very feasible, man.
Illinois,
That
go
RVD
Illinois.
one, like you said, that's the one we gotta cook up. I might have to talk to Tony. I'll help. I'll help put the money in, Tony.
Definitely would have been on the list if he hadn't passed this year. I don't know who I would have had to knock off, but it would have definitely been the Briscoe brothers for sure. Mark and Jay, me and Andrew would have loved to face off against them at least once.
That right there, that would have been like a woo. They would have beat the crap out of y'all. I ain't gonna lie to you.
Would have taken off.
STL Connection versus them boys, bro.
That would have been y'all most brutal match right there, for sure. They would have took y'all
went crazy.
Would have burned them boys. Would have took y'all through the barn burner for real right there. But I know y'all would have stood up to it. Y'all would have. It would have been an amazing. I would see that as like an amazing proving moment for you guys. If you all would have been able to have that match. But any of those matches will be amazing improvements for you. And I'm thinking a couple of them going to happen in the next couple of years, honestly. You know what I'm saying? Especially that RVD. I can see, if things work out with PWE the way I'm hoping that they do as far as, the deal they trying to strike. That's something that I could see happening for sure. Especially, we talked about it. I ain't gonna spoil nothing because we're gonna bring you on, especially when those things happen. And we might be bringing you on sooner if you end up winning those tag team titles. We're gonna have to bring you and Andrew on like ASAP. But with that being said, man, we have had an amazing time interviewing you, Johnathon Zulu, man.
Yes,
Great
sir.
to get some insight. I know I learned some things. They learned some things. The fans at home have learned some things about Johnathon Zulu, man. But that's all the time that we got here on the Art of Squabble. Like we said, we gonna definitely be getting Zulu back on here with his tag team partner Andrew Wilder.
And his tag team belts. Don't forget the belts.
And the tag team titles, man. They coming back with the tag team titles. Johnathon Zulu and Andrew Wilder, the SCL Connection. We got to have them bring the titles, man.
Third.
We got smoke for Tommy Davis. Tell him to step back, man. But yeah, nonetheless, posthumans too. We at y'all neck. In January. Be
everybody.
Ready. We coming.
Everybody.
We coming. So, but again, like we said, thank you for joining us, Zulu, man. It's your boy Lil Derek, Les, Starks, the Art of Squabble, man. Make sure y'all drop a like, comment, subscribe. Follow Johnathon Zulu 316 on all social medias.
Shout out Zulu.
Stay tuned for what is gonna be a crazy 2024 for Johnathon Zulu. And once again, like I said, this is the Art of Squabble podcast.